In Acts, Grisha is the son of one of the wealthiest people in Russia. Because of this, he's spoiled, very rude, and always in trouble because he never learns from his mistakes. He does nothing good with his life. He just goes to parties, drinks, and uses drugs all day. Grisha is pulled over by the police for speeding one night after he kicked out a girl he had promised a ride to because she wouldn't sleep with him. As he does with everyone he meets, he tries to bribe Captain Sumif with money, but Sumif won't take it. Still, Grisha doesn't like to face consequences. So when he tries to drive away, Sumif gets in front of the car to stop him. Grisha has no empathy, so this doesn't stop him. He keeps driving with Samian, holding onto the hood of the car. Moments later, Pavel, Grisha's dad, goes to the police station to pay the bail and get his son out of jail. Even though Brett is locked up, he continues to be a brat and asks to be served. The chief tells Pav about all the damage Grisha has done in the past few months, including destroying a yacht and sending a police officer to the hospital with serious injuries. The boy is completely out of control, and Pavel needs to take action as soon as the bail is paid. Pavel scolds Grisha for his behavior and threatens to cut him off, but Grisha doesn't care because he knows his dad is all bark and no bite. I'm feeling very stressed. Pavel goes to see Anastasia, a TV producer who is also his friend with benefits, to feel better. He doesn't know what to do with his son anymore, and he can't even send him to the army because he already kept him from joining. Anastasia has an idea, and she knows a guy who could help because they used to work together on horror movies. His methods are unusual, but they work very well, so Pavlo agrees to pay him. They find Lev Arnold Dayek in his creepy house, hanging from the ceiling with a rope around his neck. But it's all a trick. Creating devices and special effects that trick the eye is what he does best. After showing Pavel the method he used with a smoker client, which was pretending to cut off his finger, Pavel gets a little scared and wants to leave. But Anastasia talks him into at least listening to what Lev has planned for Grisha. Grisha comes out of a club many days later and sees his car being towed away, so he runs after it, only to be shot and fall down. After a few hours, he wakes up in a stable wearing strange clothes. The stable boy, Art Joan, tells him that he needs to saddle the horses or their lord will get mad. Grisha doesn't know what's going on, especially when the foreman of ICO comes to drag him out and kick him while yelling at him for not following orders. At that moment, the landowner, Dmitry Timofeyev, and his son, Alexei Timofey, show up and give Grisha a via whip, which he uses once on Grisha for not following. Dmitry tells him to get the horse ready now or he will get a worse punishment. But when RTM takes Grisha back to the stable, he jumps out the window and runs away. He seems to be in a village in Russia in the 1860s, before Sifton was done away with. Grisha asks people for help as he runs, asking for a phone or even the police, but no one knows what he means. He finally gets to the edge of the estate, but he trips and falls into a lake. So, when he goes back to the village to get his clothes out of the water, he is caught by a V and taken to be hanged for running away. He's lucky that Dmitry's daughter Alia shows up and asks her dad to be kind to the prisoners because it's her birthday and she's sick of all the killing. Grisha is allowed to live because Dmitry agrees. A bird is flying above them, taking everything in before going into a building on the edge of town. It's not really a bird, it's a drone that looks like a bird. Because none of this is about going back in time. Les wants to teach Grisha some self-control, and Pavel's money lets him buy something so pricey. With the help of Anastasia, who is a TV producer, Lev is in charge. Anastasia uses her knowledge as a TV producer to keep the illusion going without making any mistakes. There are hidden cameras everywhere in town, even in the trees. And there is always a sniper with a tranquilizer gun ready to shoot Grisha if something goes wrong. After seeing his son get whipped, he knows for sure. Pavel is starting to wonder if he made the right decision, but Lev helps him see that he did. This belongs to Chris. Pavel can't help but wonder what's going on between Levin and Anastasia after seeing them fight. Lev says that Anastasia meant they used to be married when she said they worked on a horror movie together. While Grisha is alone in the stable coming to terms with the fact that he has traveled through time, the scripts for the next scene are given to the actors. The director goes over the rules with everyone. Men shouldn't shave their faces and women shouldn't shave their legs. It's also against the rules to wear bras, underwear, earrings, or rings. After saying hello to his girlfriend Lisa, who works and takes care of the horses instead of acting, Alexei picks up his script. He makes fun of Aglia's contract, too. The writers want her to be Ish's love interest, so she will have to sleep with him. Alexei is confused about where the line between actress and harlot is. Grisha gets stuck in a horrible routine in the village. He has to wake up before dawn, eat soup made of nothing but flies, get a job with horses he is afraid of, use the forest as his bathroom, wear his pants without underwear, and get whipped every time he's dissed. Misha is taking a break from work one day when he hears Alia crying. Alia tells Misha that she's sad because her father wants her to marry an old rich man. Instead of showing sympathy, Grisha thinks it's a great idea because if the man is so old, he'll die soon and Alia will get all his money. A few days later, Grisha steals a chicken and asks Artyom for tools to make soup, but he doesn't share it with Ariel, who did most of the work, but instead eats it all himself. The chicken theft is found out by one of you. He tells the person who did it to come clean or he'll beat someone up. Once again, Grisha doesn't care about another person. He watches as Artyo is taken away to be beaten and doesn't say a word. Moments later, Artyo runs into Grisha and shows him the scars on his back. Grish still doesn't care, thanks to the makeup department, and when he's trying to explain to Artyo why he sees Liza jumping off a horse and notices that she's wearing modern underwear, her skirt getting stuck could mean something about his situation. So he runs after her and throws her to the ground to try to see if she pans. But luckily, other villagers step in and stop him, letting her get away. When Pavel sees that his Grisha isn't making any progress, he wants to shut down the whole operation. However, a big piece of news comes along and stops their conversation. Grisha wants Liza to say she's sorry. At first, the villager actors don't pay much attention to him because he isn't even supposed to know Liza. But let's say he thinks this is a great chance to move things along and tells the actors to tell him where she lives. Fia apologizes to Liza, who is a brata and would stick with a nail just in case. And Liza agrees to forgive him, but she says she will still be careful around him for a while. After a few days, it's time to honor Ivan Koala, one of the most magical nights of the year, according to tradition. People who spend the night partying with you will spend their whole lives with you at the party, according to a legend. Grisha shows the musicians how to play the lamba and gets the villagers to form a conga line. Alia jumps into the conga line to tell Grisha that she can't handle the idea of an arranged marriage, so she will walk until late. Grisha finds Liza, but instead of following her to stop her, he tells her stories about the technology of the future after she feels sorry for him and tells him she believes he's a time traveler. Ario comes in and tells them that Alia has been seen near the lake. This is after he has tried and failed several times to get Grisha to stop talking to Liz. Grisha finally figures out what's going on and runs to the lake to rescue her and bring her back to the village. But when she comes on to him, he rejects her and leaves to look for Liza. He goes to her house because she isn't at the party. We all work on the stage. Get out of there quickly before she opens the door. Grisha wants to spend the night with Liza to see if the legend will come true for them, but Liza isn't interested and shuts the door in his face. The next day, Lev decides that Grisha's new love interest will be Liza, so she joins the set as another actress. She doesn't like Grisha very much, so she won't kiss him or sleep with him. However, she wants to help him become a better person, even if Alexei isn't very happy with seeing his girlfriend get involved like this. The show starts a new story and Alexei has been found drunk downtown. He caused a lot of trouble and hurt the sheriff because he thought it was his right as a noble. Grisha isn't disgusted by Alexei's sense of entitlement, but he is jealous because he thinks Alexei had a great night out. His way of thinking changes. But at first, Grisha doesn't want to do what Dmitri wants him to do, which is take the punishment for his son instead. In exchange, Dmitri gives him his freedom and good food. So this time, he agrees. He doesn't forget to give Art food. In the meantime, Anastasia and Lev are getting along better, and Pavel is worried that they might get back together. But Lev thinks this idea is funny because it's clear that Anastasia loves Pavel. This is shocking to him because he always thought their relationship was only physical. He needs to think about this a lot. Grisha gets whipped a dozen times, but Pablo can't bear to watch it on the screen, so he leaves the room. Anastasia follows him and shows him how well Lev's plans work to make him feel better. His trick of cutting her finger helped her give up. Grisha goes to the landowner's house after his punishment is over to ask for the papers that will set him free. Alexei takes him in because Dmitri isn't there. Alexei throws him on the floor, kicks him, and spits on him while calling him an idiot for the rest of his life, thinking that they will set him free for real. Grisha stands up and closes his fists, thinking about how to defend himself. However, he decides to leave the house without saying anything, which makes Lev sad. Grisha kept working as a stable boy after that, but he also spent more time with Liza and fell in love with her. On a walk they take together one afternoon, they see a bird flying in a very strange way. It's a drone that's lost control while the producers get the sniper ready in case it falls. Liza tries to get Grisha's attention by telling him that she has seen the bird since she was a child and that she thinks it is her guardian angel. Technicians were able to take back control of the bird and get it out of there without the sniper's help. Alexia and Alia, on the other hand, are both pretty upset with how things are going. Alia can't believe that Liza has taken her place, and Alexia doesn't like how much time his girlfriend spends with another man. Grisha and Liza happen to see them making out in a carriage as they pass by. Liza is very hurt by the fact that her boyfriend has been cheating on her. Grisha thinks he has seen this cause two siblings to fight dirty with each other. Alia and Alexei from Left Fire. Liza hasn't been in a good mood since then, so be happy. After that, they look at the stars, and Grisha says that he would marry Liza if he could. He thought about how he was tricked when his papers were promised to him. He says that he did want to hit Alexei, but didn't because when he looked at him, he was moved by how much he's changed. Lisa kisses him. In the real world, meanwhile, Alia is on a popular talk show telling everyone that Grisha has been taken and is now being tortured. When Pablo sees that the police are investigating on the news, he gets scared and wants to stop everything before they get there. Lev, on the other hand, tells them it's too soon and that they still have time to plan Grisha's last heroic act. Seeing his Grisha is stupid and doesn't notice that things are out of place, they decide to attack the village with a group of Mongols. Grisha and Lisa are spending time together when all of a sudden, Lisa tells Grisha that if they ever have to be apart, she wants him to know that everything has been fine for her. When RJO shows up, he tells them to hurry back to the village. Since the Mongols attacked when they heard the story and had no problems, Grisha thinks they should go the other way to stay out of trouble. So Rio gives him a reason to leave, which he hears through his secret microphone. If every worker isn't in the village, the Mongols will burn it down. The Mongols have been given a lot of food, but their leader also wants a woman, so he picks one from the crowd. Her father jumps into defense right away, and because the Mongols admire bravery, they let him give her one of their soldiers. The father loses and gets his head cut off, but since he paid for his daughter's freedom with his blood, this is enough. So Lisa is the next woman the leader picks. Seeing that the plan failed, Pavel is ready to stop everything, especially because the police are coming. But Lev wants to keep waiting because he has faith in him. When Grisha sees the bird drone flying above him, he decides to do the right thing because he thinks it is a sign from Lisa's guardian angel. After he gets Lisa's old stick, he gets on a horse, rides back, and hits the Mongols on the head. He then gets Lisa on the horse and rides away right after they leave. The police show up at the set. Since Grisha isn't there, it's easy for Pavel, Anastasia, and Love to lie to the police and say they're making a movie. Grisha and Lisa ride past the boundaries of the estate and find a gas station, which is very strange. Lisa is about to tell him everything, but the sniper chooses that moment to shoot Grisha and knock him out. He wakes up later in the hospital, where Pavlo tells him he was in a coma for 3 months after a car accident. When Grisha asks about the village, Pavlo acts like he doesn't know what Grisha is talking about. Grisha tries to go back to his old life of going out to parties, but it doesn't feel right, and gives Captain Sumif his car to make up for what he did to him. One night, Grisha runs into Alexei and Alia in a club. She wants to ask them about Lisa, but they act like they don't know. Grisha says he's sorry for the confusion and looks very sad, so the actors decide to help him out and tell him what's going on. The next day, they take Grisha to the ranch where Lisa works and where the production rented the horses. When he finally sees her again, he asks her if what she said is true, and when she says yes, he knows it was all real for her. After they kiss, they start a new relationship with each other. Grisha brings Lisa with him to his father's wedding to Anastasia as his +1. He thanks his father for putting him through this crazy project and making him a better person. From then on, more spoiled rich kids are often brought to the village, where Grisha helps them get back on their feet.